Hello, and welcome back to Ask Dr. B. Although I really wish I didn't need to do this particular video, today I'm going to be talking about the latest horrific, senseless, tragic school shooting, this time in Uvalde, Texas. As we all know, 19 precious children died, and two of their dedicated teachers. Senseless, horrific, unbelievable pain. My prayers, my thoughts, my best wishes for support and help and healing go to the families directly affected. What I want to talk about for just a few minutes, just hopefully to provide some way for those of you who are watching to understand maybe a little bit more about why you feel the way you do, how to help you manage those feelings, how to make sense of them, and if that's helpful. And at the end of this, to really hopefully encourage all of us to keep doing good in the world, to not give in to the despair and the hopelessness and the helplessness that we may feel in the face of yet another completely unnecessary tragedy. So we're all feeling a variety of strong, intense feelings. I shouldn't say all. Some of us may have tuned out immediately because it's too painful. Most of us are feeling some level of distress, discomfort, sadness, anger. I talked to someone recently who said, I just can't watch it. I can't read about it because I feel so sad and so angry. I think that's a common response that I'm hearing. Can't do it, can't read about it, can't see it. Or there are people who feel like they need to watch it because it's the least thing they can do. They need to learn about these families, these lost children, these teachers. They need to try to understand what went wrong that this 18-year-old, barely 18-year-old young man committed this horrific, senseless, brutal act. So a range of feelings that we may be having: anger, sadness, anxiety. I know that I didn't sleep well. These are powerful images, whether we're reading it, seeing news footage, hearing people talk about it, powerful images that sometimes are difficult to get out of our mind. And so some of us may be experiencing mild to moderate to severe secondary trauma, again, depending on who you are, depending on your circumstances. But what does that look like? Mild difficulty going to sleep or difficulty sleeping, waking up, feeling again, or thinking about the images, to more moderate where you really are struggling, not only when you're, trying to go to sleep, but also maybe having difficulty concentrating on your work, may find yourself feeling depressed, down. You may experience flashbacks if you're reliving your own losses, your own trauma. So there's a number, and I've included resources as always to help you make sense of what you might be experiencing. Behaviorally, I mentioned already, you may be turning away, not wanting to read or see anything or talk about it. You may be feeling like you need to watch over and over and learn everything you can. Or you may be bouncing back and forth between those two. All of it is perfectly understandable. All of it is because we feel, because we are empathic, because we are human, and that's a good thing. It's just a painful thing. And then there's the despair that we may feel. We may feel hopeless, that anything's going to change. We may feel helpless to do anything. And that's really what I want to focus on in just these last couple of minutes. It is understandable to feel helpless, hopeless, and despair. But it's really important to get past that. It's not good for our well-being. It's not good for the well-being of people around us to give up to stop trying, to feel like there's nothing that I can do, because there are things that we can do. We need to continue to be active, to continue to do what we can to build healthy communities, to build healthy families, to take good care of ourselves. I hear often, the debate, do we focus on mental health or do we focus on gun control? We focus on it all. We can find common ground. It may feel like we never can and never will, but because of work that I myself did when I was in the government, I found common ground with people around this issue, around gun safety. In the work I did in leading the Prevents Task Force, during a time with an administration where you would have thought we couldn't even have those conversations, we did. It is possible. So if that is your passion, then get active in your community. Try to find people who may not have your point of view and try to have a civil conversation. Try to keep the temperature, cool. Don't escalate. Don't get ugly, whether it's on social media or in person. But if that is your passion, legislation, gun safety, reasonable, common sense, movement, stay involved, stay active. If mental health is your passion, so much to do, so many organizations that would happily have your time, your money, but be active personally, whether it's educating yourself, whether it's having conversations with your kids, whether it's organizing your community. We all have a sphere of influence. And now more than ever before, we all need to be involved in raising healthy children, in building healthy communities, in keeping ourselves healthy, in being well. It's good for our well-being. And whatever is good for each of us for our well-being helps us be there to help support those who are hurting, to help support those who are struggling. It helps us recognize if we're taking good care of ourselves and we're educated, it helps us recognize when someone else is not doing so well. Early intervention, key. Prevention, key in terms of mental health. There are many things that we can do to help prevent tragedies and trauma, but only if we're all tuned in, only if we're all paying attention, only if we're all being active. Thank you for listening. Please remember to think about who in your network, in your community may be hurting. Please reach out, offer to help. Just be together. Just listen to each other. Thank you for watching. Please share this video. Continue to send in your questions. Thank you very much.